Hi, Professor in class. It's Kim Allen. I decided to do my informative speech today on genetic hemochromatosis. I picked this topic because I was diagnosed with hemochromatosis in 2007. The long and short of it is a genetic mix-up that you're kind of born with. You get a faulty gene from your mother and a faulty gene from your father, and you are the product. That's it. So having the genetic makeup of that's getting hemochromatosis. Um, I was diagnosed with it at the age of 30, which is kind of weird because usually women are not diagnosed with hemochromatosis until around the age of 60. But at the time, I was just kind of feeling sluggish and tired and achy joints. There'd be a lot of times I would get out of bed in the morning, and rather than feeling or being 30, I felt like I was 70, 80 years old getting out of bed. So I decided to go to the doctor, and he just ran a whole bunch of tests, and that's when I found out I had it. Originally thought it was just at the time. My son was 2, and just being a mom and getting pulled in, 50 directions, because if you have kids, you know what that's like. I thought maybe that was it, but it was not. It's pretty much just having too much iron in your system, so the iron has nowhere to go. So it kind of gets in your pancreas and your liver, and by having the iron, or too much iron there, it's not good because it can give you liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, so it constantly has to be monitored. Um, Usually I have to go to the blood bank probably once a week. I usually go, and they take my hematocrit, which is just a little prick in your finger just to find out what your iron levels are. And if it's over a certain amount, then I have to give blood. And if it's under, then I'm good until the following week. It's not really works out perfect over here because now that we live in Japan, I have to go to the blood bank that's run by the military, so they don't do anything with my blood. And at first they were kind of thrown. Nobody had any clue as to what hemochromatosis was, but I'm off topic for a second. But after everyone figured it out, all they do now is just take my blood and throw it away because they don't have a filtering system over here. Even though I can't really give a genetic disorder to anyone else, but they do not use it. It was good though when we lived in South Carolina because at the blood bank I used to go to, I have O negative blood, so that could be used for anybody. So it was kind of nice that I had to give, because you have to take it out anyway, because when you take it out I feel better, and then it was able to be used for, 3, 4 other people, which was great. But, you kind of got to do what you got to deal with. Like I said, it's just always just feeling tired. You just got to kind of watch what you eat. You have to, I don't have to eat my vegetables because usually vegetables are full of iron. So spinach, can't have it. Too much iron. Orange juice I can't have because that has iron binding capacities in it. So that will also help me store iron in my body. Usually during the summer, it works out a lot better for me because it's warm outside, so I always usually joke with my husband that I kind of feel like a houseplant because you put me out in the sun for a little bit, and you're constantly doing stuff outside, and, you just feel better because it kind of depletes the iron in your system. But during the winter, it's usually a little worse because I'm usually giving every week during the winter because the iron just stores, and, you're just not doing as much because it's colder. And it's not really colder over here because we live on a tropical island, but not the case. So I'll see how it works out for me this year. But like I said, it's not always the greatest thing to deal with, but unfortunately there is no cure. The only thing that they could do is just keep taking the blood. So that's really the only thing that we got for right now. So hopefully, somebody someday can actually find a cure for hemochromatosis, because now for 7 years I have a permanent mark on my arm from constantly giving blood. So it's funny when I go in on They're like, oh, what arm do you usually take it out of? I'm like, look, I already have the mark, so you just take it out of there. So that is a little bit about me, and that's why I decided to pick the topic, because it was something that I pretty much know a lot about, because I've been dealing with it now for 7 years. So I hope you all learned a little bit of something about it, and that's all I have. You have a good night.